Next Astronomical Expo. Let's bring it back. Astronomical Expo and flow 全開そして Next Astronomical Expo。どこからこの話を始めよう。誰にも話してない全てをこのまま二人で。どこからこの話を始めよう。誰にも話してない全てをこのまま二人で送り出そうぜ科学のコード。だけは透明なベビキャラだのとなせ共にだからどんだけは透明なベビキャラだのとなせ誰に打ち明ければいい話ドラマのワンシーンみたいベビキャラビもう先はない傷だらけの弱み目を向けてゆこう未来みんなの歌には終わりは来ないそう信じてるから虚しさは気が止まらない昨日今日の話じゃないかも今ここで手放したらもう会うことできないから戻ってくるなとそう言われてもそんな素振りもいい感じだと思ってるけれど追ってくる過去 Let's bring it back 二人の居場所何本ではいくつもの何本ではメモリーを共に作りここまで来たのだろう何本では目を閉じて何本では取り替えてろ未来はこの手にあるから Follow me だからねだけは透明なベビキャラ Let's go だのとなせだってこんなだよ先の先見えてる SF ロマンスマシン It's all for you 君とおしゃべり like カーティス俺そんなアーティスティックアストロボーイアストロガールみんなの world まさに Expo そして Next Catch the future するために Let's go 明石真相何been so long で浸透爆開けるヒストリー So kiss me 好きと言わせるクール MC 常にファッショナブリレート月に着陸お忍びでデートチェックイン東京フライト線俺たちなしでは始まりません手と手離さず The two of us 今では話もできずただ説明必要ない後悔してないから Come back home tonight another day まで待つことできないから Hey girl 今さら Don't play that game 過去に背を向け Ain't no other way 言葉はいらねえ何本では思い出を何本では刻まれた心だからもう一度始めよう何本では無理じゃない何本では取り返そう未来はこの手にあるから Follow me アストロノミカルケミとエンフローかける音全開カーステレオ初めて君を見た時のことを覚えてます狙ったのはそこからこれも出るのよ What? キャットウォークで会いましょうそして We get personal なんて想像巡らしとこう一言で Beautiful Yeah 二人で空越えてこう Yeah そして星の加速度世に送り出そうぜ科学のコードこの話を始めよう誰にも話してない全てを二人でよし要初めに巻き戻そうよAnd flow chemistry, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's the Global Astro Alliance, and we gon' take it home like this. Check it out, watch me do this, kinda like ha, 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 ha. Follow me, just go ha, ha. Who's that lady that make you say whoa, 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 whoa? Follow me, just say whoa, whoa. Watch me do this, kinda like ha, 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 ha. Follow me, just go ha, ha, ha. That make you say whoa, 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 whoa. Follow me. Just say whoa, whoa.
Guys, Let the bodies hit the floor.
Let
You will understand it soon. Trust.
yeah.
There's a reason why me and Epic Man 2 are specifically choosing this as the opening for this showcase right now. So
Yeah.
welcome everyone. I hope you're having a great day, and let's just get straight to the funnies right now. Race 1 or whatever is song on the intro. Yep, this is for real. We are having bodies. The Mappool. And this is going to be my disintegration.
Anyways, welcome you all to the quarterfinals Mappool showcase of Solar Score Rush. Once again, we're going to be showcasing the maps that are next as well for all of you players remaining in the tournament. This is going to be the next half of the tournament that you are all going to be facing off of each other in. May I say, this Mappool is going to be quite a luxury to get here, starting off with the so yeah, as said earlier on, this is going to be and we all have a lot
This map is 131 BPM, but the streams are at 111. So at 1/4, it would be 360.25 BPM. That is very fast.
Yeah, indeed. One thing I would say is that this map is actually, I guess, a bit of a spiritual successor to my ranked RP map, if any of y'all know it. It was ranked like almost a year ago. I guess I've just had like a bit of this series going on where I just like map index streams through songs of like really similar bands and like contemporary on myself. It's been something I've been like doing specifically when I've mapped the house good by
I'm so invested in the backstory that I do not even need to commentate anymore. It's just that good!
Sure, why not?
No. Which is funny because this map does not have like a proper break. Like the charmer parts are still infested with 1/8 tools and some 1/4 jacks. This part is a bit funny. It builds up from like 1/10 to 1/11 and maybe 1/12 if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, it goes into 1/12. It uses decimal snaps as a progression and stuff. You can tell I'm a bit of a nerd on that department.
Oops.
This is something I've been playing around with since like last year with maps. Since I guess I'm at this point it's just expected. You get final course pretty much repeats the majority of the same concepts you would see established. You get into the ending section where you have at least 1/12 rolls in each roll. Do not choke here because this is going to be something that will literally destroy your scores, but that is going to conclude it for bodies here. Rice 1, your speed pick.
There's everything in the so-called monotonous speed pick, so just be very cautious when you pick this. But with that concluding, let's move on to Rice 2, our thumbstream handstream pick, and it is going to be
Oh yeah.
1 second, guys. Okay, here it is.
Alright. Spinning library. Jumpstream handstream.
So-called handstream. We're having Zia in the Mappool, so that's one more mapper to the ever-increasing variety of the Mappool.
Indeed, this map definitely picks up on the variety that we would have established with some of the earlier jump stream maps that have been in the map before. So, basically just going off of what an image in the making had basically built into the limelight during the round of 16. This map kind of expands on it, like with a similar-esque type of song where it's like fast-paced J-rock and stuff. With some vocals here and there. You also get a lot of these patterns where you have somebody anchored and a lot of these drills as well for extra measure. So going to be adding on to that stamina factor as well by a fair margin.
It's very varied. You know, I did mention an image in the making has a lot of variety in the patterning, switching between one-handed, two-handed drills, a bit of wrist jacking, and some consecutive doubles as well. This one does feel similar, though it's a bit faster and tackier because of the slightly reduced density, but to compensate for that, the speed is 260 BPM. For reference, the MWC semifinals jump stream hamstring picks, neutral in VVash, the speedy one is 266, and Black Chocolates, the consistency one, is 254. So this is just a very ideal middle ground.
Yeah, indeed. Especially like with this tournament's formulae rolling around, basically following the shoes of MWC by around above, but also with some very clear differences that you would definitely pick up on a lot of the Mappools here. We actually have a bit of a format change. I did mention this briefly during one of the matches earlier, but we are going to be having one less hybrid, actually, and another LN added into the pool in exchange for that one.
Yeah. You know why soon. I think I elaborated on that so-called hybrid pick earlier, but it'll be saved for later. For now, I think I do want to pre-caution everyone that this map does have some slight 1/6 burst and a few 1/3 split trills, so do be aware when the snaps change and do not release your hand early.
Yeah, you never want to release your hand way too early when it comes to a lot of these maps in general, but still carrying on with the raw skill maps, we're going to be having our Chord Jack map next, in which it is going to be none other than...
last round was a happy love extra. This round is going to be a tragic comic love XD.
Oh. Always love a bit of variety and alter ego is within these map pools.
Yup. Well, the thing that's similar in both picks is that the couple are both gay, so it's all part of the plan.
I'm so proud of you, part of the LGTB community.
Yup. The BPM is for the dash BPM. It's supposed to be halved from the song BPM, so it's actually 148.5 BPM. And with the length of 2 minutes and 40 seconds continuously, it will be an actual stamina gauntlet of very tricky anchor jacks.
Yeah, a lot of the map seems to incorporate a lot of these patterns in general to really just kind of bring itself into the front of your focus here. I mean, knowing this is a Chord Jack map, and a lot of the Chord Jack maps in this tournament have been pretty versatile, so to say, especially in the earlier rounds. We kind of changed the meta that we established to allow for kind of more denser maps, so to say. Like, you get some of these like chords within the Chord Jack patterns themselves, but then you also ramp it up like as the rounds go on as well, which is basically what we see here, especially from the stark contrast that we got in round 16, which was Nemo Nemo. So that was definitely very different in comparison to At the Mountains of Much Fun from round 32 as well. But once again, this map gonna kind of like take I think one thing to say is that with a lot of these map pools in general, especially for the core jack maps, it kind of dumbs down on a lot of the bursts that you would have seen in the earlier rounds and kind of replaces it with more physical patterns as the maps just progressively get more faster in general.
Yeah, worth mentioning that the first 3 rounds, the Rice 3 pick was not a dedicated jack pick. It's more of like a raw skilly mix map that's a bit more emphasized on speed jacks. But from round 16 onwards, it becomes a dedicated jack pick. And I do want to mention that you can hear the difficulty a bit progressive on this map. Not because the party gets denser or anything, but just because the stamina factor and the fact that with each course it just keeps extending the length of the intense parts. And yeah.
Yeah, indeed. That is definitely something that is prevalent with a lot of these maps in general, but that is also going to conclude it for our rule school maps. So always be with you, XD. Having been completed, we can now move on to our more technical maps in the quarterfinals pool, in which the first one is actually going to be, in which the next one is actually going to be another custom. So we're going to be having a custom map from none other than Mysterion, Tires of Nonsense, that lost 500 million years on 1.1.
So-called 500 millions.
Yeah.
It's actually like 50 and then 3 zeros and then 2 doubles of zeros, which is very non-standard formatting. It's funny.
Yeah. I guess that is something you would expect with like a lot of these things, but even then, like, I don't know, I forgot most of the things about map. I don't know how to calculate actual numbers, but this map seems to start on a bit of a bold note, starting off with a lot of these really chopped up breakcore samples and aim and break you see here. A lot of these really odd, really tight core jack patterns mixed in with some streams here and there. I guess if you've seen like some of Mysterion's maps in the past, they do tend to utilize a lot of these patterns that can be relatively abrasive, especially with Rice Tech, which I would assume that Mysterion in general is really well known nowadays for their more Ellen-oriented work. So this one is definitely interesting to see, like when it comes to a lot of these maps, just building on some formula that a lot of mappers would have already like built on, but still feels fresh in quite a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, the intro jacks are 183.15, but here the choruses have much faster and lighter jacks, so it becomes more of how well you can rapidly transition your finger like statuses. Sometimes the mini jacks also lead into a double, which is extremely tricky because you have to add one more motion in there, and that's not to mention the graces, the burst, and just generally erratic rhythm that are presented throughout. You see, you can see these mini jacks embedded in the burst.
Yeah, especially during this section in general, there is quite a bit of rather interesting bursts there. A lot of these streams, a lot of these like flams that just lead into other patterns. Definitely gonna keep on the watch for that one. This one can definitely be a turmoil point for a lot of players in the matches, especially. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how this one is sort of brought out in the matches in general, in which, speaking of which, we can move on to the next few dump maps, the next few technical maps that we have in the Rice Pool. So gonna be seeing none other than Young Lean Hoover's Sewer Slut remix by Snow. Another custom.
One more custom. Let's go.
As Snow said in the...
You can never escape Snow Sewer Slut. This one is another of his successors. Snow has been mapping a lot of Sewer Slut songs recently, and this one takes yet another different approach from his others, his like earlier Sewer Slut maps. This one being a more dumb focused pick that not only expresses the vocals but also reflects the lyrics. Like it implements the meaning of the lyrics into the pattern. Like when you see it, when the bag is empty, the pattern does not utilize the inner columns because the back is empty.
Yeah, and it is definitely something that is relatively common with a lot of the maps that Snow makes under this type of style, especially with like this type of song. Like, I think at this point it may as well just be well established that Snow just really likes Sewer Slut to a healthy level. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just crazy to act. Like, on top of being really stamina intensive because of the sheer length, it also has a lot of fluctuations in snaps and general intensity, so it's a much less straightforward ordeal compared to Rise 4, where it's more short and sweet despite the initial abrasion.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the dumps like within this song as well just make a lot of sense. Just going off the fact that with the fact that this is like rapping over what you usually expect from Sewer Slut's work, just the fact that you have a lot of these jungle-oriented breakbeats in the song, as well as just in general, a lot of like really atmospheric nitty-gritty that you hear in their works if you're at least well familiar with them. I feel the map does a really good job of being able to express a lot of this, especially with the fact that going with a lot of the raps from Youngling here, it just expresses a lot of them with a lot of these really directional, with a lot of these patterns that really just focus a lot more on direction and the flow of these patterns. So you have some of these Majax here that immediately burst into some arrow flow patterns that you see a lot throughout this map in general, and especially with a lot of these trails just adding on to that difficulty as well, going to make it so that you can't really get any free score out of this alone. This is a relatively long map as well, clocking at nearly 3 minutes and 30 seconds as well, so this one's gonna be a bit of a gauntlet if you are gonna pick this out in a match as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I do expect this to be banned a bit more often because it's just a very hard Rise pick. It's hard and it's risky, and I think if you're a Rise main, you would prefer attacking the raw skill picks. But nevertheless, I do encourage you to play this just to choke bait your opponent. Because it's just a very abrasive map despite it not supposedly being the abrasive tech pick.
Yeah. But that aside... Oh, sorry.
Well, I have not been making a lot of Rise recently. I'm more of an LN main mapper. But today's different. I'm returning back to my Asian roots. Introducing Rise 6.
Damn, not even a hybrid free?
What the Sigma? It's just a recursive loop from now on. We start off with, I believe it's 324 defense.
Okay, quite an explosive start right there. Kind of similar to the intro from Bodies, if y'all remember from like a few minutes ago, but not as fast inherently. Yeah,
the start is just extremely speedy, but it resumes back to a bit of a break. It's more of like a calm for the storm, honestly, because the next part does not hold back.
Yeah, indeed.
It's building up.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I do. Yeah. Immediately, I ride into the sea of drums samples, very aggressive and just impossible to track because how often these rhythms change, and the patterns also reflect that as well. There are some motifs, of course, but overall it's just very irregular. You cannot stay consistent on this.
Yeah, this map incorporated a lot of these abrasive patterns. This is definitely this is really interesting, honestly, from what I've seen. Just going off the fact that there's a lot of patterns here that I would not have been expecting, but even then, they just feel at home when it comes to a lot of Crumbs' songs in general. Like, I think at this point, we may as well just make a trend out of her music. It's just really, it just comes to a point where a lot of this type of unorthodox padding, I mean, you do not just see in like any of her songs. It gets to a point where you just, if the minute you see it in like some other song that's like conventional, it just feels out of place in some form.
Yeah, this map is a bit inspired by Vortex's Go User, which is also another Frems map, but it's in MWC 24 quarterfinals. And this is also similarly abrasive. Oh, we did not talk about the stream part. It might be a bit screwed up. It's easy to like FC, but it's very straining and it would kill a lot of your stamina. And if you miss, do not even think of recovering.
Yeah, a lot of the patterns here in this map pool as well, or at least just throughout each of the individual maps you have in this pool specifically. You just have a lot of these maps where you just need to try your best to keep everything intact, not only just the accuracy at this point, but also the combo as well. And with maps like this where you literally have so many possible points or opportunities to mess everything over, this is definitely going to be disadvantageous for a variety of players going into the quarterfinals, especially in the losers bracket where the stakes only just increase day by day, where you're really going to need everything to pull through. But that is actually going to be our final race map. Oh, sorry.
Okay, please excuse the no beat map selected thing because I'm running out of slots. I am supposed to upload 2 maps today, but I won't have 1 slot available after just 6 minutes ago, so I cannot upload this map and another one. Yeah, please excuse that.
It's fine. It will be resolved in like a few days anyways, so it should be fine.
Surely. But yeah, and with the rice territory done with, let's move on to Clap Clap, the noodles.
The one and only. Now the moment you've been waiting for.
Sure, this is relieving the trauma of a lot of players. I know this map was okay. The short version was mapped for a Thailand tournament, and then this one was the full version was used in, I believe, Skibidi Mania Cup.
What?
Please do not ask me.
Wait, what? Wait, what? No, wait, which category was it in? Was it in the Akaran thingy? The one above, like, the one I played in? Because, like...
The highest one, like the highest division, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been the Akaran division or something.
Yep, diabolical. But we do not care. Anyways, this is a cup version, so it's a bit shorter. It's only, like, 2 minutes and 54 seconds. The original one for 1.05 is a bit shorter than 4 minutes, I believe. So that's a bit too long.
Yeah, a lot of the patterns in this map kind of following up on some shoes that were left in the porch from some of the previous map pools as well, bringing out some more of this timing hell formulaic patterning that you see in a lot of the coordination maps as well. And especially with the fact that this is already a well-established map in the scene already. I mean, this area is already like just well known in general for a lot of these timing hell-esque maps you just see around. And with the fact that it's on this song as well, it just kind of adds to the difficulty of just overall what you have to expect with a lot of these map pools in general, especially in the Allen field where it's only just going to get even more denser than this one. I'll save that for sure.
Yeah, map is a bit progressive, I think, but mostly coming from the stamina aspect. This map is a bit less textbook than the usual court release picks. Like you see in MWC, it's usually a bit confined to usual 1/4 snaps, but with Mysterion's usual mapping style, there's a lot of outliers and snappings. You can see some 1/6 burst and a few 1/12 graces as well. So, and they're also outer columns, so they're much harder to like visually pinpoint, you gotta be very careful.
Yeah, especially with the fact that a lot of timing held maps tend to be very visual oriented as well a lot of the time. It kind of just adds up to the point in making it just pop out a lot more that it's just gonna get very difficult from here. And if you do not have the proper control for this map in general, then you might be screwed, to be honest. I mean, you really just need to make sure that, like, with a lot of these bursts that you have, it's really just about the staggered element releases that you have here, and some of these shields as well. But even then, the map ends on an abrupt note, so that is going to basically be it for LN1 here.
I would be very careful with the shields because it's the most coordination based aspect of the whole map after all. Like, you can sacrifice some of your staggered releases to hold your combo, but once you miss on one of the shields, it will be like 5,000 points being deduced from your total, which is not good.
Yeah. It really ain't.
Well, for something more tragic, let us commence the distorted goodbye. Here is going to be Ellen to the density pick. Sekai kara ga kiru toki.
The way you just censored. Oh my goodness. That's literally how. This is literally how I freaking rev up my chainsaw, bro. You can't be replicating that.
What the Sigma? This is now just a distant memory.
Yeah. But that aside, obviously, this map going to be a bit of a last minute custom actually for LN Density. Going to be from none other than Combo Free Silicosis 2. Definitely one of those people with a lot of names out there that I nearly feel like I'm forgetting at this point. But yeah, going into the map for the first war, just about this is going to be a relatively balanced length map. Clocking in at nearly 215 BPM, a bit of a step up from what we had in the last one, which was Engage Rex. So that was my map, edited by yours truly.
It's a very big ramp in speed. The last one was just 200 BPM. This one already goes up to 214. So if anyone thinks the last round was undershot, which it probably isn't, then this one is for you. Increased speed and very dense, like, barrages of LN. For reference, MWC's Freeman attraction was 215, so this is very close, and it also has increased density as well.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense, especially with the fact that we make a lot of comparisons to a lot of these custom maps from MWC to really just give you the measures of the maps in this tournament, and what you see is what you get, really. Just the fact that a lot of these maps are just so intense, but they're also just so different. The fact that, okay, going into this next section, you get a bit of some more dense LN density patterns, as you can see here, basically just revisiting the regular format that I assume most people are pretty much used to with a lot of these LN density maps in general. Just some of these jump streams, some of these anchors and bursts as well. Especially on this song, which is definitely recognizable from a few maps. I know a lot of people would at least recognize this from some ranked maps in various places as well. Just the fact that this is a Dark Core song from the likes of DJ Walsey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Some people know it from Buzz Cups, which actually remixed this song and a few other well-known songs from the involved artists. So while this is your original song, and it's your classic banger, it's your hyperflip, it's your distant memory.
Indeed it is. And now that we are just about we're basically approaching the halfway point of the LN pool, so the next one going to be the next one is definitely going to be a bit of a head scratcher. This one's going to be The Red Shoes by Mike League.
Mike League. Yep.
Yeah, Mike League. Sorry.
Continuing from I believe round of 32's flow from Fiesta, this one will be another one of those dumpy Korean Ellen Tech picks, but a bit of a different approach. This song is very windy, jazzy. Fiesta is more cheerful and has a consistent pop feel, but this one has the spice of romance and that jazzy bounciness in the patterns, and you can clearly feel that in some of these slower shoot patterns and the reverse shoots that creates these tight gaps on the LN, the flow movements as well. It's just a very romantic pick in general.
Yeah, a lot of these patterns here already are making a bit of a bold impression, honestly, to me as an outsider. Just the fact that there's a lot of these bursts in general, and the song itself really opens up that opportunity to have a lot of these really technical patterns incorporated within the song, especially with the rhythm itself. Just the fact that you can just dump the vocals like this, and it just adds to the overall expression. But it also just makes it a really balanced pick overall for this Mappool as well, which is basically just as quintessential as most Mappools will need, really. Just the fact that you need something that can really fill the red shoes that you're going to be needing in this Mappool, and this map does it quite well, just going off the fact that it has a lot of these patterns, but it doesn't contradict from the concept that was intended to establish this one.
To be honest, I just don't know. But one contrast I noticed, however, is that it's an entirely different genre of Ellen Tech from last round's Luster, which was much more technical and focused on some of those weird shoot movements. This one is much more flowy, maybe akin to the other night I loved from MWC, but there are a few differences. Michael's style is just very distinct.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point, I think there's literally like no other Ellen mapper that I even like can recognize from a single style like Mike Leaks here. Oh yeah, and then there's this ending with some of these anchors and tight jacks, but that's gonna be it for Ellen Free. Quite a climactic ending.
The ending, with 2 misses off the replayer, aka Unitori. Congratulations! Yay!
Hey.
If you crave for something more physical, then sit back for a bit more as we move on to the next pick. The newly introduced from last round's Ellen Walls. This is going to be Satori de Bon, a very classic song. Everyone knows this song at this point.
The fact that we get this song as Ellen Walls is actually crazy. I haven't even seen the map for itself, but knowing the likes of Blue Potion when it comes to a lot of these Ellen maps, especially the ones I've seen in this tournament, it's got to be something that's really interesting to say.
Yeah. A lot of visual emphasis despite being mapped for a pick that's more monotonous, which is always appreciated. This pick is also bouncy as hell with all the anchor usages, but they're intuitive, they're not annoying at all.
Yeah, I can already see some people are confused with the fact that this isn't even jump stream. It is just literally just full on Ellen Jacks. We can see a lot of these anchors. Just overall very direction oriented pairing when it comes to just how the patterns and expression is formatted here. And there's literally just almost full inverse here as well, besides like a few points where you just have to just let go for a bit with the Ellen releases. It's actually kind of funny to see, actually.
Yeah, the whole trend is very heavy, and it combines the whole string of Ellen density picks, but it has the coordination coming naturally from Ellen Jack patterns. Okay, can we talk about this part for a second? It's not for Ellen, but it's so dense to play.
Yeah, okay, I can definitely see some players just struggling with this. Just having to control that rice note blended in between just so precisely. It's like if you just hit a bullet like right in the exact hole, and it's literally just the freaking, I don't know, and it's literally just, I don't know, something as small as a belly button. It's actually kind of insane that you'd even like shoot there. But that is also just part of the map. Just the fact that you have a lot of these precise patterns that you need to act. It's not exactly free just there. Especially picking up on what Ad Astra has established from the previous round as well. I feel this one's definitely going to be grinding some players' gears here.
Yep. Or the replayer FC this. So if anyone is very good at LN, then you better try to not get disbanded. But if the opponent bans this, then too bad. You missed out on the banger.
Oh dear.
But if you want something truly hard, however, let me remind you of a trauma long past. 2023 was quite the year for me when it comes to learning for mapping tournaments. And this map is definitely a stepping stone, now polished.
Yep. I think we may as well just let the map speak for itself at this point.
Yeah, you know how I said Hybrid 3 is a pick that's progressively more LN biased? Now it becomes an LN pick. This is your LN speed map.
Yep. Exactly what I've mentioned earlier on. This is going to be what has become of Hybrid 3, basically getting plagued by the Ellen curse and thus transforming it into the Ellen speed pick, as we can see. And this one's gonna be pretty recognizable. This was in some tournaments back in 2023, which the original map was made in. But this is actually gonna be a remap as well. There's actually quite a bunch of remaps of your maps in this tournament. Actually, I just wanted to point out.
Yeah.
So
this is the first one of this week. And it's a nerf actually, because the original version was very spiky. Like the courses spiked up so much. This time, this version, the courses are not as spiky anymore, so it's more enjoyable, I think. But it's still very hard. It's quarterfinals and you're already dealing with 277 BPM speedy LN.
yeah, indeed. Going into this core section, this is basically just approaching the back up to the chart, and you just still have a lot of these patterns which basically just tread into LN density territory with how you just have like a lot of these streams that you just need to coordinate that can be pretty dense at times at specific points given, but even then, for what the map has to offer, it does a really good job of being able to express that. And just in general, you have a lot of these patterns that just really are really dense to be able to try and act, especially with these short LNs as well that you get glimpses of. Reminder, this map is clocks in at almost 280 BPM, as we can see at the bottom here. Even while this is definitely pretty short, only 2 minutes of a song here, really.
2 minutes, but it's 2 minutes packed with dense noodles. You cannot escape from the noodle gauntlet. The ending is so brutal. I think a lot of playtesters, including myself, had a few runs where we missed at the very end. So just whoops, be aware.
Yeah. Don't want to let those bed bugs bite, don't ya?
What the Sigma?
Oh yeah,
well,
actually, speaking of remaps,
this is a remap. So like Chrono Capsule is a remap from QT23. This one is a remap from a QT24. This is going to be Nand. This This is familiar. What the Sigma?
I literally played this in the same tournament that Dreams of Becoming a Diva was featured in as well. Or at least the OG map.
Yeah, the original map is very spiky. Like, the courses spike the intensity up by like 2 times, which is not very tournament friendly. But this is a forced custom song for the time QT was around. Now though, I don't need to play it on 1.0 anymore, so this is 1.1 with the nerfed choruses. But it's still very fast.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, sorry.
Okay, you wanna guess the BPM of the jacks?
380.
Yeah, it's 376 divided by 2, 188 BPM jacks, shoots, whatever it is.
All 190 BPM, precisely.
Yup. I think that's actually shown in the BPM thing as well.
Yeah, indeed.
The choruses are more focused on physicality, while the break parts, they're less dense, but they're very coordination heavy. Because the Ellen patterning is so choco and a bit slippery, and the polyrhythms as well.
Yeah, there's just so much packed within this map in general, and especially the song itself is just that stacked when it comes to a lot of these components that I feel it would usually just be expected with a lot of custom songs in general existing within tournaments, especially from the likes of the Quaver tournament, as you mentioned, which I know has quite a fair share of complicated songs in general, this one being no exception, with just how the rhythm and how the patterns just sort of express the song in its own right. And okay, there's some jump stream pattern, there's some jump stream here, alright.
Okay, this is not shown in the BPM, so you can actually guess the BPM now.
This would probably have to be like, no, this is nearly like 260, right?
It's 250, like 250.5 something. Yeah.
Alright, I was close then.
Yeah. The jump streams are a bit broken, but they're very dense, and then they're followed by very continuous streamy hybrids, and then this weird 3-column LN thingy. And then we're back with the shields, combined with some very tricky coordination patterns.
But yeah, this one gonna be closing out the map. You have been through a lot of elements that the map has thrown at you in general, but ending it off with the final coordination section with a lot of these staggered elements that's going to bring you to the end of Nond here. And once again, because we had a hybrid free, or what was originally hybrid free, turn into another Ellen pick, that we have only just one map left to show before the tiebreaker. And I assume y'all were expecting something conventional. Yeah, right. Not today.
To Hitler Mini Jacques.
No way! Why do you remember that?
Wow.
To Hitler Long Jack.
Oh, this map is going to be quite the craze.
Yeah, this song in general is... I've seen this across Twitter in a lot of places, and just the fact that literally I feel like most rappers in general would literally just struggle to, like, I don't know, like literally rap over this. So I have no idea how Vince Staples and Kendrick Lamar like just rapped over this one, but props to them, I guess.
Yeah, I got Nene into the mapping team with the intention of trying to get a very unorthodox pick, especially the tech hybrids or LNs for a later round, and this pick is definitely satisfactory. It's just so weird, like you do not expect to see this in conventional textbook definitions. It's a rap song, the movements are very, like, it's not electronic, so the dump techniques are also naturally pretty different. from the usual feel of fast-paced tech song.
Yeah, indeed, especially with how you honestly this pick specifically just has a lot to unpack with how just unique it is. Not only just in terms of song choice as well, where you have Sophie production utilized as well. I've seen a bit of her stuff used when it comes to some technical mania maps as well, but the way that Ninier basically capitalizes upon that concept here, especially with the raps as well, just makes this overall a really unique experience, especially with a lot of the more abstract stuff that they produce as well when it comes to tech mapping nowadays. And like just adding that formula into a tournament like this one, it basically just pushes it into some form where it just basically looks like a bit of an formless canvas at this point. You just have a lot of these experimental elements that are just really hard to see in most modern tournaments as well, but even then, a very welcome concept, I'd say, here, especially for a tournament like this where you just have like a lot of these relatively avant-garde picks as well, so to say.
Yeah, I do want to mention that be very careful with the long jacks. Like, I don't know if you can qualify them as long jacks, but they're just like very polyrhythmic or just irregularly snapped anchors, because you're not playing a uniform motion like you usually do with conventional long jacks. So your sense of rhythm perception can be tripped up very easily, and the long jacks in the map can also be in forms of very tight L and reverse shoots, so it's more opportunities to mess up, really.
Absolutely, very well said there, and yeah, this map's definitely going to be a bit of a threat to a lot of players, I'd say. Just the fact that this is going to be approaching the real late game for when it comes to the technical hybrids in this tournament. This is only just the brink of the surface, if you'd see, but once again, that is also going to conclude all of our regular picks. So the last map that we've got to really show here is going to be none other than the tiebreaker, and I'll let you take this one away.
I don't know how Sigma the map is, so I'll just show the song for now. However, I do want to mention one shout out, Nuka, who is also in the chat right now, for making the GFX for this song. It's so charming.
Nice.
You know, when we were discussing about the GFX, we joked about this as the tree. And so the tree is ready to be showcased to the public eye.
Indeed, and especially with the type of tiebreakers we have been getting in general throughout this tournament, they have followed a very specific theme where a lot of the songs really are kind of less conventional than you would see in most other tournaments, especially with the fact that all of them so far have only been mapped by only one person, aka yours truly.
Yep, the concept is just me mapping all the tiebreakers, by the way. Like, it's for a good reason, you'll know why soon. But for now, just know that that's the theme. This tiebreaker is so good. Like, for the first third, like the first 2 minutes or so, you are already met with these extremely tricky 200 BPM mini jacks and shields.
Yep.
I know a lot of players are not accustomed to the motions of these mini jacks, combined with these bursts as well, so it can be the hardest part for the whole map for all we know. It is certainly not for me because I have a mini jack bias, but I took that into consideration, so surely it's balanced, right?
I mean, surely. Just the fact that you're managing a lot of the tiebreakers like your one-man show and stuff, they've got to be balanced, especially with how the production value for a lot of these especially have been really upholding so far throughout this tournament from what I've seen and whatnot.
Yeah. And that is it for the mini Jackie chorus. We'll be moving on to another skill set just very soon.
So branching out from the usual tiebreaker formula of mini jacks and shields and whatnot, gonna be going into a bit of a more rice-oriented section. Some of these pretty specific rice jacks and anchors that we can see here, basically focusing on the improv that we can see on some of the more orchestral elements of the song here from what we can see.
Yeah, this one is very calm because it's the break part of the entire song. And for what it's worth, the entire song is 8 minutes. I have to cut out some of the breaks because it would be too much filler content for the map. I think you could already notice that the break part for this cut version is still very long. So yeah, it's my best attempt at preserving most of the song's structure, but that is the most I can go. So this is a 6-minute cut version of with around like 90 seconds of break time around here. But it ends now.
Oh, here we go. The real source of what you'd probably be expecting. You're jumping right back into the swing of things. Kind of going back into this more non-desk patterns that we've seen, albeit this one is on a bit of a more basically quadruple time rock-oriented song as well. So you get a lot of these bursts, a lot of these fills as well that are just as quick that you gotta match as well. And even then, the solo here that you just get from, I think that is a flute or something. That is not gonna help that one either. Gonna be introducing some of these Ellen technical patterns as well that you would have seen reminiscent of Ellen Free from earlier on.
Yup, and that kind of concludes the 165 BPM shield-based section. We're moving on to quite a speedy part. The BPM is going to be 280.
Oh. I can see where this is going. Oh dear lord.
Yup. I think that it would be a bit more reasonable if it's slower and a bit more emphasis on 1/4 rhythms, but this is what you get, a lot of 1-2 rhythms mixed with some 1/4. So it's pretty physical and anchory.
Yeah, indeed. The map does a really good job of being able to encapsulate a lot of these sections in general, which are just really over the hatch when it comes to a lot of the intensity in the song, especially since it's kind of what you expect with like a lot of songs like this, especially since this one was made for a Malaysian taiko tournament from about 2 years ago, estimately.
Yup.
Yeah.
This was made for the GTMS 2023, so quite a classic that I'm trying to bring back here.
Yeah, indeed. Pulling off a lot of great efforts to bring back some classics here and there, and it definitely adds a lot to what we have seen of these map pools in general. Just the fact that there's still so much left to showcase, but even then, like a lot of these tiebreakers in general beats me, man. I don't think I'd even be able to make this type of stuff on my own. Like,
well, I really hope to see mappers making their own tiebreakers because it's just a fun thing to see. It reflects your identity somewhat.
yeah.
It's everything of your matching prowess in one map, and this one is one of them for me. That is going to conclude Akatsuki, Tokoyami no Yoru ga Aketa Toki. Translate to English should be midnight, when the everlasting night turns to day.
Interesting title there. But yeah,
Yep.
once again, that concludes our Mappool showcase for the quarterfinals. So well done on y'all who have stuck until the end. For the 15 viewers still watching right now, this will be the Mappool that you are going to be playing on for the quarterfinals bracket. We've got just a few matches left in the quarterfinals winners bracket, especially only 4 matches there. And then we have quite the batch of losers bracket matches as well. So stakes are going to be higher for y'all in the losers bracket, facing off, especially with the conditionals in hand as well. That's going to really put a bit of a detriment into your mental if that goes out of hand. But if you manage it well, then perhaps you'll be able to still keep your ticket in the finals, in the semifinals, really. So gonna really need to capitalize off of that. But yeah, once again, I wish you the best of luck for y'all players in the rest of the tournament. And is there anything else you'd like to say before we close the showcase here?
I want to mention that the Mappool has exceeded qualifiers difficulty. Qualifiers only go as far as like quarterfinals. So with the tiebreaker being 1 round harder, naturally this should be the first map that exceeds the qualifiers difficulty. So your physicality will truly be pushed beyond the initial bound we introduced you to here.
Indeed. So, with that aside, you've basically got all the. I mean, we basically gave you all the credentials for this map pool in general, just the bracket itself. You're at the mid. You're at the mid to late game of the tournament, and now you just gotta make do of it. Especially with the amount of events that are happening alongside this tournament right now. Everything's only just gonna ramp up from here on, but that's pretty much all I have to say, really, for the showcase here. And yep.
Mm-hmm. Vice 6 will be uploaded soon. Meanwhile, the tiebreaker has been uploaded on my page. Someone else will be uploading Vice 6 for me, so please take note that it's my map and not the uploader. Yep, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. This has been Epic Man and Law commentating, and we will see you for the matches next week. Be there or be square.
Yep. Bye, everyone. I feel so Sigma.